Buongiorno, Haubenschilds family. I'm here in Italy, ready to take you on a video walkthrough of your Italian adventure and to paint a picture of what your time there might look like. So let me share my screen and we will get started. Okay, so the first thing you're going to notice is this price. And that's the whole trip. The per person price is $21.55. So you can all budget accordingly. And this is also adult pricing. Um, in some descriptions, you'll notice there is a different price for children, and I'll point that out as we go along. The price covers round-trip airfare, ground transportation, as well as accommodations in Rome and tours and activities along the way. It does not cover your daily meals, shopping, fuel, trip insurance, which I do recommend, and I'm happy to provide a separate quote if that's something that interests you. Alternately, you might wish to check with your credit card company and your health insurance to see what coverage they provide while you're traveling abroad. I assumed you provide, here's a little bit of background information, just good things to know while you're in Italy on dining. There are little siestas, public facilities, currency, safety and security. Can look at that on your leisure. But I assumed that you preferred nonstop flights when traveling with kids, and the most economical fares that are also nonstop are round trip from Chicago to Rome, which is what I've proposed here, departing Monday, September 15th. I did look into an open jaw flight, which would have you flying into Rome and again home from Florence. But if you're renting a car, your best option is to do that from Rome, and I'll explain why when we get to that point in your itinerary. So your Chicago flight is an evening one, and it allows you to sleep on the way and arrive fresh, ready to go the morning of September 16th. I apologize for my cat howling in the background. He wants to go too. Okay, so you arrive Tuesday, September 16th. Just to maximize your time and save you from having to hail 2 or more taxis, I booked you a private minibus transport from the airport to your hotel in Rome. And the property I chose is actually more of an apartment that operates like a hotel, and it is centrally located near attractions like Trevi Fountain, the Pantheon, and the Spanish Steps. Okay, say hello and then goodbye. Okay, goodbye. Sorry, where was I? I did provide some other options for you. So this is what that property looks like. And then here are some other options if you'd like to look and see what other hotels are in the vicinity. You may have to wait to get into your rooms, but they do allow you to drop your bags. And by the time you get settled, you're going to want to go for a little walk and explore the city. And just 7 minutes away from that hotel is a really lovely family-friendly restaurant called That's Amore, where you and your kids can get truly authentic pasta and pizza at very reasonable prices. And then you can continue walking down to the Trevi Fountain. Don't be disappointed if there's no water there. They clean it several times a week. Just come back in the evening and it will be beautiful to look at. And it's lovely lit at night as well. Lots of people propose there. The following morning, I suggested some possible cafes for breakfast and Italian coffee. And I've generally only scheduled just one thing a day, just to give you plenty of time to explore on your own and leave room for spontaneity. But if you'd like more structure, just let me know and I can suggest additional activities. On Wednesday, the big activity that I thought you should look at is a tour of the Colosseum, but I've provided a few additional options. The first being Roman Gladiator School, which I thought the boys might enjoy. The age limit is 6, so everyone qualifies. It's a 2-hour class complete with gladiator costumes and training. Parents can watch without having to pay, but adults can participate too. And then following that, of course, you're going to want to see the actual Colosseum. 2 options here. One is a semi-private guided tour, which is focused on kids and families, and it's about 2.5 hours. And the other one is just, if you want to get tickets and a headset and just meander on your own, you can do that. I do you're going to want to spend at least 2 hours there to see the full Colosseum. And then you might want to come back again at night when it's lit from inside and it just sort of glows. It's a really cool thing. The next day is Thursday, and I thought that would be a great day for you to either do a hop on, hop off bus tour, and or, because you can see a lot of the city for that, and or a cooking class where you can make your own fettuccine ravioli and tiramisu and then enjoy what you made. And the kids are welcome to participate in that as well. Or you may want to do the Vatican Museum, Sistine Chapel, and St. Peter's Basilica. I do think that you would need to buy, at the very least, skip the line tickets because just like the Colosseum, this attraction tends to have extremely long lines and wait times. And it's not quite as interesting for kids, but maybe yours would enjoy that. That is pretty much concludes your time in Rome. And so the very next morning, I have you checking out of the hotel and another group transport to the airport. And this is where you will be getting your car. I did look into having you take the train from Rome to Florence and getting a car in Florence. But Florence has this thing called the ZTL zone, which means any vehicles that aren't taxis, buses, or resident personal cars cannot access the downtown area between 7:30 and 8 p.m., which makes it sort of inconvenient to drive around that destination. And the car rental zones are all within that zone. So this is why I'm recommending you get your rental in Rome, and it will make it more convenient for your return flight as well. Full-size vans are not as common in Europe as the US, so you will probably need to decide, do we want 2 cars or do we want 1 vehicle? Right now, I've got you in the only 9-passenger vehicle I could find, but it does have unlimited mileage, value-added tax included, and automatic transmission, which is very helpful when you're driving all those winding roads through Tuscany. You will have 2 choices as to how you're going to get to the villa. The coastal route, which will take almost an hour longer than the inland route, driving through Tuscan, the central Tuscan area, but both are lovely. Take one on the way up and take the other on the way back. And then once you get up into your, I'm not sure I pronounced this or I wrote it down correctly, so you'll have to give it your address of the villa to me so I can make sure I've got it in here for GPS purposes. But you'll be checking into your villa once you get up into Tuscany, and maybe just spend a night getting acclimated, cooking in, and exploring the property. Saturday, September 20th, if the weather is nice, I suggest a day at the beach, and I've recommended one about an hour east of your villa. The beaches are small, but have some lovely sand and also some climbing rocks, and the water allows for kids of all ages to enjoy because it doesn't get too deep there. And there are a bunch of other things to do in this area, and I've listed those as well. Sunday is a day when most everything is closed, and so I thought that would be a good day to do the wine tasting and farm tour. Again, this is just about an hour's drive from your villa, so there's plenty of time to get there and back again while still enjoying everything the farm has to offer. Very family friendly, and you still get to drink some wine. Monday, free day. What do you want to do? All of these places are within an hour of where you will be staying. They're all very different. So these links are live. Feel free to check into them and see what it is you'd like to do. And then on Tuesday, your last full day in Tuscany, I have you scheduled for a guided tour of Florence from a company that specializes in families. Again, you can do this on your own. I just wanted you to see what a guided tour might look like and, where they will take you. And then, my gosh, your time is almost out. Time to check out of your villa, return the car to Rome, and depart from the airport. But look at this time here, 11:05 a.m. So there are 2 flights that day, 2 direct flights that day, and this is the later one, which means if I want you there 3 hours before an international flight, you're getting up very early in the morning to drive that 3 hour or 4 hour, depending on which route you're taking, route back to Rome, return the car, and still make it in time for your flight. So maybe you'd like to spend one more night in Rome just at the airport so you can have a leisurely return trip without driving through the night in unfamiliar territory. Either that, or you may have to forego the nonstop flight for a flight with a more favorable departure time. So I'm going to suggest that you spend a little time looking through the itinerary, clicking all the links, and determining if this is the kind of pacing you'd like to keep. And then let me know a time I can schedule a Zoom meeting to hear your questions and discuss any changes you'd like made. I do have a tracker on flights to see if they start to come down. They went up $100 between the time I first looked and when I finalized this itinerary just now, but I expect them to come down again. The hotels, however, are only going to go up the longer we wait, and rooms in Rome fill very quickly. So if you like the apartment hotel, I would like to get that booked as soon as possible. Once approved, this proposal becomes your personal trip app that you can download on your phones, and it will have all your tickets, confirmation numbers, addresses, anything else pertaining to this trip, as well as a chat feature so you can contact me if you need any assistance along the way. Okay, this took me a little bit longer than I thought, but enjoy the journey, and I look forward to hearing from you.